Welcome to the BDI Empowers podcast, where experts simplify disability benefits so you don't waste years figuring them out. Now, get empowered.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the BDI's Empowers podcast. I'm your host, Anita Gardner, and I'm so glad you're here with us today. If you're a person with a disability, a caregiver, or a family member navigating complex benefits, you already know that the financial side of disability services can feel overwhelming. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that's incredibly important, but very misunderstood, and that is Medicaid Payback, who it applies to, and what you can do to protect your loved one's assets. Whether you're just beginning your benefits journey or you've been navigating the system for years, you deserve clear, compassionate information. So let's take a deep breath. You're in the right place. Today's episode is sponsored by TrueLink. TrueLink Financial is a financial services company offering a prepaid Visa card and investment management services aimed at protecting the finances of individuals with disabilities. Let's get started. What is Medicaid Payback? Let's begin with the basics. Medicaid Payback, sometimes called estate recovery, is a federal requirement that allows states to recover the cost of Medicaid services after a Medicaid recipient passes away. This provision was established under the 1993 Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act. It's often referred to as OBRA 93. Here's the simplest way to think about it. When someone receives Medicaid-funded services, especially long-term care supports, Medicaid keeps a record of what was spent on their behalf. After that person passes away, the state has the legal right to request repayment from any assets the individual leaves behind. This can include things like cash, bank accounts, real estate, life insurance payouts, vehicles, stocks, bonds, and funds in certain types of trusts and ABLE accounts. It's a tough topic, but understanding how it helps protects your family later. Who does Medicaid Payback apply to? Who is affected? The short answer is anyone who receives Medicaid benefits during their lifetime, but the payback requirement only activates after the individual passes away. This includes people living in long-term care settings such as nursing homes, individuals receiving home and community-based services through Medicaid waivers, anyone who receives medical assistance payments funded by Medicaid. And here's a key point. If the person owns a home in their name alone, Medicaid may place a lien on that home after they pass away. There are exceptions, for example, if a spouse, a child under 21, or a disabled child of any age or sibling who already lives in the home intends to remain there. But outside of those exceptions, Medicaid will expect the home to be sold to repay benefits. It's not an easy conversation for families, but planning ahead makes a huge, huge world of difference. Can you opt out of Medicaid Payback? This is one of the most common questions that we receive. Can I opt out of Medicaid's estate recovery rules? Unfortunately, the answer is no. By accepting Medicaid benefits, whether that's income-based Medicaid, SSI Medicaid, waiver program services, or other supports, you agree to the terms of the Medicaid program, including the payback requirement. However, there are smart strategies to protect your assets and make sure that your loved one keeps the supports that they need today without sacrificing financial stability tomorrow. That's what we're going to talk about next. Let's talk about how special needs trusts and ABLE accounts fit in. Two widely used tools for protecting assets while maintaining Medicaid eligibility are special needs trusts, also called SNTs, and ABLE accounts. Both are powerful, but they serve different purposes. Special needs trusts, there are two different types of special needs trust. There's a first-party SNT, which is funded with the individual's own assets. For example, back payments from SSI, settlements, savings already in their name. These trusts do require Medicaid payback when the individual passes away. Medicaid is reimbursed from whatever remains in the trust. The third-party SNT is funded by someone else, usually parents or family members, often through estate planning, life insurance, or gifts. A third-party SNT does not require Medicaid payback. Anything left passes to the beneficiaries identified by the family. This is one of the most important distinctions in financial planning for individuals with disabilities. Now let's talk about ABLE accounts, also known as stable accounts in Georgia. ABLE accounts are another great tool. They allow individuals to save money without impacting eligibility for Medicaid or SSI up to certain limits. The annual deposit limit for an ABLE account is $19,000. The SSI limit before impact is $100,000. They must have also developed their disability before the age of 26, which is changing to age 46 in 2026. ABLE accounts do require Medicaid payback, but only for Medicaid-funded services received after the ABLE account was opened. The big advantage, ABLE accounts can pay for final expenses such as funeral costs. Special needs trust cannot do this once the person has passed, which is why prepaid burial arrangements are essential when using first-party and third-party trusts. You can have both special needs trusts and ABLE accounts at the same time. In many cases, families benefit from using both. Let's talk about how to protect your assets. Here are the top strategies we would recommend to protect your assets. 1, consult with a benefits navigator, someone who understands how Social Security, Medicaid, and waivers work together because these systems interact more than most people realize. Maintaining Medicaid eligibility is critical not only for health insurance, but also for long-term access to home and community-based waivers. 2, work with an estate planning attorney, ideally one who specializes in disability or elder law. They can really help you. They can help you establish third-party SNTs, set up correct life insurance, beneficiary designations, and avoid accidental first-party funding that triggers Medicaid payback. 3, use ABLE accounts wisely. They're excellent for managing smaller sums, budgeting for expenses, or covering rent, something SNTs cannot pay for. 4, maintain good records, especially if you're using a special needs trust. Trustees must document all spending and must follow strict rules. 5, pre-planned burial and final expenses. I can't stress this enough. A first-party special needs trust is frozen immediately upon the individual's passing. No payments, including funeral costs, may be made from the trust. ABLE accounts can help, but prepaid arrangements are the safest approach. Let's walk through some of the most frequently asked questions we hear from families based on real discussions from our webinars. Question 1. If my child has private insurance through a parent, can we decline Medicaid when applying for SSI? No. Medicaid automatically comes with SSI. But keep in mind, Medicaid acts as the payer of last resort, which means your private insurance pays first, and Medicaid fills in the gaps. Many families find this incredibly helpful. Next question. If I want to leave life insurance to my loved one, will that cause a problem? It depends. If the policy pays directly to your child, it becomes their asset, which means it must go into a first-party SNT and Medicaid payback rules apply. But if you set up your third-party SNT in advance and name that trust as the beneficiary, you avoid triggering that payback. Another question. Can we use trust or ABLE funds for vacations? Yes, for the individual with a disability, absolutely. A trust can pay for the individual's portion of the trip and for someone accompanying them if the person needs assistance while traveling. ABLE accounts can do the same. Where does any remaining money go after a person with a first-party SNT passes away? Well, first, Medicaid is reimbursed. If funds remained afterward, they're distributed to the beneficiaries named in the trust. In a third-party trust, all assets go directly to the beneficiaries with no Medicaid payback required. Let's quickly recap the most important points. Medicaid payback is required by federal law and applies after a Medicaid recipient passes away. It can affect homes, savings, insurance payouts, and certain trust funds. You cannot opt out of Medicaid payback, but you can plan for it. Special needs trusts and ABLE accounts are an essential tool for protecting assets and maintaining benefits. First-party SNTs and ABLE accounts both require payback. Third-party SNTs do not. Pre-planning, especially with burial arrangements, estate planning, and benefits navigation, can save families enormous stress and financial hardship later. You don't have to navigate this alone. We are here to help. Thank you for joining me today on the BDI Empowers podcast. I know this topic can feel overwhelming, but having the right information gives you and your loved ones power, protection, and peace of mind. If today's episode raised questions for you, or if you'd like a free 15-minute consultation with one of our benefits navigators or myself, visit us anytime at bobbydodd.org. And as always, we release a new episode on the first Tuesday of every month, so be sure to subscribe and stay connected. Until next time, I'm Anita Gardner, and this has been the BDI Empowers podcast. Take good care of yourself and your loved ones. We're with you every step of the way.
This was BDI Empowers, your guide to independent living. Join us again next month to learn more about simplifying disability benefits.